Okay, so we are here with week 4. Now, after a crazy week 3, bunch of things happened, records broken, so many game-winning kicks. It was an insane week. And I started looking at week 4, and a lot of these games I think are going to be very fun too. I am not personally super hyped for Tampa versus New England, and the reason is because on paper, Tampa has pretty much outnumbers them pretty much everywhere except probably corner, because all their corners are hurt. So, but everywhere else, I mean, Tampa just outguns New England with everything. So, I'm not a blowout, but I'm expecting Tampa to win by 10 plus, honestly. It doesn't feel right. Yes, it's Brady's return to home, but just on paper, this does not look like it's going to be a good matchup at all. But the storylines write themselves. News sites, media is going to be talking about it all week, and it may be a dud, but it may not, but we'll see. So I'm not going to get excited until the game actually starts. That's what I'm going to get hyped for this game, and I'm hoping it really blows me out of the water. I'm hoping it ends Sunday. Super crazy. But we got to start here on Thursday, tomorrow. Jacksonville heads to Cincinnati. Battle of the Cats. Or some of the cats. This is not going to be a good game. I'm glad this is only on NFL Network. Obviously, later in the season, they will be on ESPN. I think there's probably going to be some on Fox and whatnot. But right now, these first, I think it's 10 weeks, 12 weeks, somewhere around there, they're mostly on NFL Network. I'm fine with a game like this. I'm totally fine with. I just think Cincinnati is going to, they'll win by 10 points in the end, because they'll play, kind of lighter in the second half, because they'll be up by, 14 to 17 points, by the time the second half rolls around, I think. And I just, Jacksonville, they put up a surprisingly good fight for 3 quarters against Arizona, but I think that was one-time deal. I think Arizona got too cocky, and I really thought, they're full of themselves. That's what happened. So, but, I don't think it's going to, I don't think they're going to do a lot against Cincinnati. So, that's my Thursday pick. Then Tennessee heads to New Jersey to face the New York Jets. They got shut out last week. Put up, was it 6 points against New England the week before? So, Tennessee is going to have a field day with them. Anyone who faces the Jets is going to have a field day with them. Top 2 or 3 pick again for the Jets, honestly. So, Tennessee's got this. Then we have Kansas City coming off of a 2-loss stretch here. Week 2 and week 3 against the Ravens, and then against the Chargers. Tennessee. Kansas City does not have a defense. Let's just be honest here. And the way they think they can fix their defense is to sign Josh Gordon, a wide receiver. So basically, they're pulling the Packers and saying, score 80 points and hope your defense allows 30. That's pretty much it. Kansas City's defense is really falling off. If they lose to Philly, it's gonna be a crazy week for the media. They're gonna go. It's gonna be wildfires everywhere for the media if Kansas City loses to Philly. I'm obviously picking Kansas City just because, 2 nights ago Philly only put up 21, Dallas put up 41 and just dominated against Philly. So I'm picking Kansas City. But if Kansas City loses, I can't wait for the media storm. That is going to be insane, and I'm here for it. I am totally here for it. Then Carolina heads to Dallas. This is going to be a very good game. This could have honestly been, 325 game. Honestly, you could put it in place of Sunday night. Yes, again, Brady versus New England. But it's not going to be, I don't have hopes for that game. Carolina, Dallas, I think Dallas is better than people give them credit for. And Carolina has one of the best defenses and a pretty good offense. And I think, I don't know if they're going after Marlon Mack. Carolina should be going after Marlon Mack. Obviously, CMC will eventually come back later in the year. But right now, I mean, you get Marlon Mack to back up CMC. You got a very good running tandem right there. So they should be going after Marlon Mack just because I don't think it was stated how long CMC is going to be out. But probably by like November or December, he'll probably be back, honestly. It's probably going to be a little bit. I don't know. Again, I don't know the timetable. But he is, looks like he's coming back, barring something goes wrong. But again, Marlon Mack, is very good. I think they should target him. But I'm off topic. I do have Carolina here winning. I think this will be a close game. This might be the best of the noon games for Week 4. And knowing how crazy Week 1 through 3 has been, I think a lot of these noon games could be crazy again. And I think it's, I mean, it's just like 1 week after the another, it's just upping each other until we're eventually gonna get a game that's gonna be like 38-35, but the first half is gonna be all defense, second half is gonna be all offense. It's gonna go into OT. So I just expect like Carolina and Dallas gonna be very good, probably best in noon. And then next week it's gonna get upped by something else. So it's gonna be fun. These games are so much fun to watch. But moving on, Giants head to New Orleans. I think New Orleans is going back home. I could be wrong. I thought I saw a report out there saying that they are going back to New Orleans in October. Which again, this will be October 3rd or 4th or whatever the first Sunday is in October. And again, I believe I read a report that said they are going back to the Dome. I could be wrong, but I think so. So I just think no matter where they play, I think New Orleans will win. But I think they're going to actually have home field advantage again. Then Cleveland heads to Minnesota. Cleveland coming off of 9 sacks against the Bears. That defense is good. that front line is good. So if you're in Minnesota, you better have max protection on all the time. You better hope Kirk Cousins has a day. Kirk Cousins has been going under the radar. He's had a very good year so far. Honestly, he has. I mean, he just torched Seattle last week pretty much. I don't know if Dalvin Cook played. He might not have played. If Dalvin Cook is not playing, I mean, they're basically going to just say, okay, well, Kirk Cousins, here's the ball. You're going to have to win us the game. And you're going to have Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney. You're going to have that whole front line coming after you. Make sure you're able to scramble enough to buy Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, 3 seconds or, a couple more seconds than normal. So I do expect Cleveland to win. They're not going to have a performance like they did last year. I can tell you that right now. This will not be a repeat performance. If I am wrong, I will come back. I'm going to clip that, and we're going to have to make another video next week on that. Just like I did for the Lions yesterday. Or is that going up? No, that went up yesterday. If you have not seen that, I made a little... I actually predicted the future of the Lions game, so that went up yesterday. But I don't see them having a repeat, 9 sacks. I don't see that again. They might get maybe 3 or 4, maybe, but Cleveland should win this pretty handily, even though it is in Minnesota. There's a lot of question marks for Minnesota right now. Then Detroit heads to Chicago. What a week both these teams had. One team got absolutely blown out, 9 sacks against them. Was it 1 total net yards for Justin Fields, I believe, was the final for the stat sheet. And then Detroit's coming off of losing to a record-setting 66-yard field goal, but there's an asterisk next to it because there should have been a delay a game for Detroit. So, Detroit should have won, but, refs being the refs, we have a new record for kicking. and it's against Detroit once again. So I am actually picking Detroit to upset, despite it being in Soldier Field. Something tells me that Matt Nagy is going to start Fields again, and I just think that Detroit defense will be enough to handle for a bit, to keep, at least the offense can stay in the game, but I think they'll semi be able to handle Fields. Obviously, that now you're able to rush Justin Fields, and you basically are set because this man does not have time to get set if he's getting rushed constantly. So I think that's the formula to beat him. I think now everyone knows, okay, we're just going to do what the Browns did and hope we sack them 10 times. But Detroit is my upset pick of the week, and we are locking that in. Then I'm going to kind of skim over these next three. Houston at Buffalo. Houston may not win another game. Buffalo has us in the bag. They're going to be chanting MVP for Josh Allen after he throws 5 touchdowns again, despite it being Houston this time. Indy heads to Miami. Indy should have us in the bag. It might be closer than what people think just because Indy has not been what they should be. They have not looked as good as they should have. Before the season, everyone was thinking they're going to have one of the best defenses, myself included, and they're not looking great. And they just lost to Tennessee, which is going to hurt them in the playoff push later on, and especially if they lose to them twice. Then Washington heads to Atlanta. Washington should have a bounce-back game. Their defense did not look good. I talked about this earlier this week. But they should be enough to beat Atlanta. Honestly, they should. Then we have, this is honestly probably one of the best whole 320, it's 305 and 325. But these afternoon games, this has got to be one of the best I've seen. And now I think Washington, Atlanta might, I'd have to go back and double check again, but Washington, Atlanta might be 325. I thought Seattle, San Francisco was, but again, I might be wrong here. But San Francisco is at home once again, and they welcome in Seattle. This is battle for last place in the division. Obviously, if Seattle wins, they move up in the third, and then San Francisco moves down in the fourth because they have the same record, but Seattle just beat them. But if San Francisco wins, they inch closer to Arizona and the Rams, which, by the way, loser of that game, we're going to talk about that in a second, loser of that game, San Francisco is only going to probably be about a game behind. I think it's a half a game behind, actually, I think. Right, so 2-1, which would be 3-1. Yeah, so it'd be a half a game behind. So, if San Francisco beats Seattle, which I do have them, they'll be about a half a game behind the loser of Arizona and the Rams, which, again, we'll talk about here in a second. But, I think Russell Wilson will keep the Seahawks in this game. But I think San Francisco, coming off of that crazy loss against the Packers last week, I do think that they're going to have more fire in them, especially because this is rivalry week. Rivalry week. That's so that does not roll off the tongue easily. But I think San Francisco. I'm messing up now. San Francisco should beat them. Moving on to my game of the week. Arizona heads to SoFi. Now, actually, the funny thing is that this game is in SoFi, and then the Chargers game is in SoFi. So back to back, you get prime time Monday night in SoFi, and then you get the prime time game of the afternoon, I guess is what you would call it, in SoFi too. So this is where the Fox crew is going to be most likely, unless for some reason they're in San Francisco. But this should be where, this is where the Fox crew is. If it's not, it's going to be stupid. But Rams hosting Arizona. Both teams lead the division. They are tied for first in the division. Obviously, loser here falls in the second place, falls a game behind. This could really impact the West, the NFC West. Let me say that because the East or the AFC West is going to be crazy too. But the NFC West is going to be impacted by this game. Loser of this game is is going to fall into second, and then San Francisco is going to be a game behind, which, if I have the Rams winning, that means Arizona falls a game behind, which means Arizona will be 3-1. San Francisco will be 3-1, and I do not know when those teams meet, but if it is soon, San Francisco could just be climbing up that ladder. They could be coming for LA, which I would pick LA over San Francisco, in a full-out battle. So I can't wait. That's going to be game of the week, too. San Francisco and LA is going to be a game of the week. That's going to be crazy. But, this NFC West is insane. And the fact that both, or all four teams are playing each other in the same time slot on the same week, it's going to be insane. They're playing at the same time, too. So San Francisco can't win and say, okay, well, we're going to watch and see who wins this. No, they're going to be playing at the same time as the Rams, hoping that, whoever loses, that they can just beat up. And if you're San Francisco, you're probably hoping for Arizona, because, in my opinion, Arizona is going to be way easier to beat than the Rams. The Rams seem like the best team in the NFL right now, just flat out. Like, there's no one close to them. They destroyed Tampa Bay. They had that game in the bag the whole time. So, the Rams are the team to beat for every single team in the NFC. If you can, beat them, then there's a blueprint there for the playoffs. But it's gonna be very hard. It's gonna be it's gonna be very interesting to see what they can do. But I do have the Rams winning week 4 here. Again, they still play Arizona later on. They still have to play San Francisco twice. They still have to play Seattle twice. So, again, it's tough division for a reason. Then, Pittsburgh flies out to Green Bay in Lambeau. This game should be fun. I think this game will be very fun. It's not going to be as crazy as Seattle, San Francisco, Arizona, Rams. But this game should be fun. I'm going to enjoy this. Obviously, Pittsburgh coming off of a bad loss to the Bengals, 24-10. They did not have T.J. Watt. I am going based off of them not having T.J. Watt again for week 4. So I'm saying the Packers win because without T.J. Watt, I mean, they got their butts handed to them by the Bengals, which is not good in the AFC North race, which, again, it's going to be Ravens, Browns, and I guess now potentially we're looking at the Bengals coming out of nowhere, too. That's good. But I think this will be a good game. It'll be a close game. Packers win by 3 to 5 points only. It's going to be a tight game through most of this game here. And if you leave Aaron Rodgers with 37 seconds or more, you better hope you have a game plan. Because San Francisco did not. So if you're Pittsburgh, you either make sure you take that clock down, or you have a game plan to stop Aaron Rodgers if he gets the ball last. That's all I can say. And then I'm not a Denver supporter. I don't think that they are good. They've only beaten the Jets, the Jags, and the Giants. That's it. But this should be an interesting game. Baltimore flies to Denver, so we're playing at Mile High in that altitude. Going to be probably kind of hard for Baltimore. I am picking Baltimore to win here, but this is the Denver's real test to turn eyes, or to turn heads, I should say, and make them say, okay, maybe Denver is actually better than we thought. This is their first real test of the season. Obviously, they still have the Chiefs twice, the Chargers twice, the Raiders twice, all of which are going to be very tough to beat. But if you can beat the Baltimore Ravens, you can beat anyone in the AFC West. I really think you can. Obviously, again, 3-0 they are right now. This is the first real test. Baltimore coming in at 2-1. But despite me picking Baltimore, I think this will be an interesting game, especially because it's in Mile High. So they have a little advantage there, too. So we'll see what happens. But I'm expecting a good game. Now watch the Ravens blow them out. But I'm expecting a decent game here from both sides. And, again, if Denver wins here, again, it's going to turn heads, and people might actually start saying they're actually a good team now. But they have to beat Baltimore. And you have home field advantage. This is legit home field advantage. Mile High is legit advantage. So if you can't beat Baltimore with your home field advantage, I don't know what to tell you. Then Sunday Night Football is Tampa heading to New England. Just like I explained at the beginning, I don't expect this to be amazing, spectacular, super close game, because on paper, Tampa has the better everything except, again, probably corners is the only thing I would say are maybe better New England-wise, just because Tampa doesn't have corners. So that's probably it. I am picking Tampa to win here. It may be, maybe Tampa blows out New England. Maybe, they win by 10 plus. I have a hard time seeing this being a close game. Now, if it is, I'll be so happy. If this is a very close game and Tampa wins by 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, I'll be so happy because it shows that this was actually a good game. But I don't see that right now. And I'm not going to get my hopes up until the game actually starts before I say, okay, well, very good game. So I'm not getting in the hype quite yet. But, I'm picking up Tampa either way, either a close game or a blowout game. I think it'll be somewhere in between, probably about a 10 to 15 point win, possibly for Tampa. Then we got Raiders heading to the Chargers. SoFi Stadium, again, just like the Rams. Both teams play at home. This will be a good game too. we end this week. We end week 4 with a very good game. Implications for the winner of the AFC, I believe. Raiders are 3-0, right? Yeah, I believe Raiders are 3-0. So, well, if Denver loses, Chargers could just shoot up right to the top. So if the Raiders if the Chargers beat the Raiders and Denver loses, I believe Chargers are first in the division. If Denver loses and the Raiders win, who I'm picking the Raiders here, I believe the Raiders are first in the division too. So I think this is going to be a good game, possibly a classic. This could be honestly maybe game of the week besides Carolina, Dallas, besides Arizona and LA, the Rams, besides Seattle and San Francisco. I think possibly this could be game of the week here too. There was a couple games of the week, and obviously Arizona and Rams I had to put as game of the week. But I could have put San Francisco, Seattle. I could have put Raiders, Chargers. I could have been that guy that said, okay, game of the week is going to be Tampa versus New England just because of all the storylines. I could have done that too. But I think it's going to be a shootout game, very close game, 28-27. Raiders win a thriller of a game. Possibly goes into OT. We'll see. Raiders have already been in the 2. Oops. So this could honestly go into OT too. So those are my picks for week 4. We're going to be coming back later today. I'm going to have my record for week 3. But for now, like the video, share the video around, don't forget to subscribe, and we're out of here. Peace.